Once we have a bunch of people that we can contact, we have the leads. Step 2 is turning those leads into interested leads. An interested lead is just someone who has shown some sort of interest towards what we have to sell or what we have to offer. The way we bring someone from lead to interested lead is we show them a message, and this is just what outreach is. We give them a message and we try to get them to respond positively. Now, the important thing here that a lot of editors get wrong is the point of an outreach message isn't to get someone to hire you. That's way too big of a commitment. It's like meeting a girl for the first time and asking her to marry you when she doesn't even know your name. The whole point of that first interaction is just to get them to respond. So even if it's something as small as asking, hey, what are you ordering? And then that starts a conversation, and maybe in 10 years from now you guys get married. In the same way, your outreach message, the whole point of it is just for someone to say, tell me a little bit more. You just need to get them to actually respond, and the way you do that is by following the principles of a strong outreach message. So what are those principles? The first one is we need to make sure our messages are concise. If you are sending a Chinese wall of text, then don't expect anyone to respond. So we want to make sure that with all our messages, we're breaking it down into as few lines as possible, but also making sure that each line is as short as possible just to get our point across. Next principle is we need to make sure that we're clear with our intentions. You sort of got people who exist on either end of the spectrum. You've got the guys who show no intention at all. They say, hey, and that's their outreach. Like, it's no intention at all, no one responds to that. And then you have the people on the complete other end of the spectrum where they're showing so much intention, they're trying to close the guy on the first message, and they're sending a huge wall of text with all their accomplishments and what their families accomplished, like God knows what, but that message doesn't get read, and it's showing too much intent, if that makes sense. We want to find that sweet spot in the middle where we're clear with what we're trying to sell. We're like, hey, noticed you post content about XYZ, I've done XYZ stuff before, do you want to discuss working together? Super simple message. The way I like to frame this is I just want to show my work as quickly as possible, and if they would like to respond, they respond, and we will continue the conversation. I'm not trying to close someone straight away. So be clear with why you're in their DMs and keep it concise. And last principle for a high converting outreach message is show proof. Whether you know it or not, you have some sort of proof. Some people have more proof, some people have less proof. For example, I've worked with huge YouTubers, and if I'm outreaching to someone, I'm going to play that game where I'm going to name drop the guys that I've worked with and people in his niche. But if I'm someone who doesn't have as much proof, which obviously I started like that, I'm going to play to the proof that I do have. Maybe I haven't worked with huge YouTubers, so I'm not going to mention the people I've worked with. Instead, I'm going to just show my work. No matter what, you have a strong point. It's just important that you play to the games that you're actually going to win. The biggest thing here with turning leads into interested leads is you need to have enough volume. I remember when I was learning how to become more social, I used to run into this problem where some days I would be the most social I've ever been in my life, and then other days it would feel like I have a conversation, it goes kind of weird, and for the rest of the day it's just absolute shit. But it was after actually learning this concept in mathematics called the regression to the mean that I found out why this happens. If you have a small amount of data, 1, 2, 3 pieces of data can actually heavily skew your conversion rate or your metrics. So for example, let's say you're only speaking to 3 new people a day. That sounds like a lot, but if you're speaking to 3 new people a day, just having one of those conversations go awkward makes you feel like, oh, a third of my conversations will always be awkward. God forbid you speak to 1 new person a day, that one person's conversations goes bad, it feels like everyone's conversation has gone bad. In the same way with outreach, if you're only sending 10 messages a day, 8 of them don't get responded to, you're going to feel as though, oh, this doesn't work. Conversely, if you're only sending 10 messages and 5 of them get responded to and you work with 4 of them, you might think you're some outreach god, but you might have just got unlucky. The thing with metrics is they will only show after you've done enough volume. But if you're making decisions based on limited data, you're just going to end up acting emotional because the data that you're operating off of isn't valid at that small of a scale. So now that we're sending those outreach messages, we will have a metric. That metric is a positive reply rate. It's what percentage of people can you take from lead to interested lead. Now, the reason that this metric is so important is because this is honestly going to tell you whether you can scale what you're currently doing or not. If you don't have this metric, what's going to end up happening is you might have a killer system in front of you where you have an outreach message that, if scaled, would get you as many clients as you want. But because you're getting ignored 80% of the time and you're only getting 20% of responses, you feel like you're not getting responses, but that's more than enough to scale and just keep sending more messages. If you're a freelance video editor and you want to get more clients, I've got something for you. It's a completely free outreach tracker. It's the same one we use with all our coaching students, and it's going to allow you to be able to send more messages to potential clients, get more replies, and also be able to close them at higher rates. So go get that free tracker in the description. After you signed up for it, I'm going to send it straight to your email. I'm going to give you a bit more information on how I personally help video editors. So if you do want to get more help, you can apply there. But whether you get my further help or not, just go and get the free tracker for now, because at least you're going to be able to run this on your own for a while.